Hey folks, welcome back to the Lone Pine Tarot. For today's pick a card reading, we have a topic that was actually inspired by one of my spirit guides. I asked him today if he could help guide the topic. I said, what do you think is best for the collective to hear? And he picked the topic of empowering. So as you can see by the title down below, it is a message that will empower you. So this reading could be anything from something that'll relieve a worry of yours, maybe a little nugget of info that will help you get through a hardship or something you're kind of confused about or wanting guidance on, or it could even just be something reminding you of a strength you had all along. Either way, the tying theme is something that will empower you. So without further ado, let us pick our piles. For pile number 1's over here on the left, I have number 27, Renewal. Regeneration begins with decay. For pile number 2's in the middle, I have number 16, Melting Mask. Allow your spirit self to shine through the many roles you fulfill. And last but not least, over here on the right for pile 3's, we have number 19, Accountability, and it says, responsibility is a gift of love to yourself and others. So feel free to meditate on these piles, pause on this part of the video if you still haven't decided which pile you would like read to you, see which one pulls at your strings, pulls at your soul, resonates with you, whatever way you want to describe that. Whichever one calls to you the most, and whenever you're ready, feel free to drop down to the description box below or the top pinned comment at the top of the comment section. Click on the timestamp, and I will see you in our discussion about a message that will empower you. Bye. Hello there, my lovely pile number 1's. Welcome to your pick a card reading today on the topic of something that will empower you. As you recall, the card you used to pick your pile was number 27, Renewal. Regeneration begins with decay. Now, I always kind of see this card as, if you're familiar with tarot, there's a card called Death, and which sounds scary on the 10, right? Death sounds scary, but really what it means is, just like the card says down at the bottom here, regeneration begins with decay. It's all about not the ending of something, but the seizing of one thing to make way for another, okay? Just like this figure is walking through, it almost looks like an abandoned village that has like moss grown over it. There's like a bucket here that's been overgrown. She's walking through with her walking stick, kind of seeing what has grown over since that thing ended, whatever it was. It kind of seems like a village to me, right? And she's reflecting on, okay, so what has come out of this? So that seems to be kind of a tying theme for your empowering message today, but of course we'll pull some tarot and of course Lenormand cards, and I also have oracle cards besides this one that I drew for you, okay? So I'm going to do this reading a little bit different than the ones I've done in the past. For those of you familiar with my readings, I'm going to actually start with Lenormand. I'm going to ask, what's the context of this reading? So Spirit, for my lovely pile number 1's, could you give me 3 cards explaining the context of what's going on here? What's the situation at hand that you want to describe to pile number 1's? Okay. Let's see, there's 1, 2, 3. All right, set that off to the right here. And then I'm also going to pull your tarot cards right off the bat here. So we just get the drawing out of the way. So Spirit, for my lovely pile number 1's, can you now give me 5 cards that explain what the empowering message is based on the context, please? Okay, definitely that one. 2, 3, and let's see what else is popping. 4, and I'm saying that one, 5. Okay, my lovely pile number 1's. All right. So let us get the context at hand. We'll talk about your oracle and tarot cards in just a moment. And let's see. Oh, excuse me, bless me. Pardon me for sneezing on camera. All right, so first up we had the mice, we have the tree, and we have the lily. So if you're not familiar with Lenormand, Lenormand is a bit more blunt than tarot. You kind of read it like each one is a word in a sentence. So reading this as a sentence for you, pile number 1's the context. What's going on? What do they want to talk to you about? We have the decay of health, of sometimes a lily can mean elderly. So maybe the decay of the health of an elderly person in your family. okay, or the loss of health. Maybe recently there was an issue with someone who was older in your family, or could be in your friend group too, someone you consider a part of like your tribe, right? Having lost their health, or having their health kind of decline for some reason or whatever, okay? This could also be interpreted as maybe a family issue regarding an elderly family member. So it might not be specifically about their health, because the tree can also mean family in general and not just health, but that's kind of what I'm seeing here. The decay of health of someone elderly. Okay. Maybe you've been worrying about this older person in your life, or maybe recently they actually have passed. Maybe that's kind of the question or the context at hand here. Sometimes a lily can also mean purity, but in this case, I think because there's family associated, I think it's pretty much something to do with an elderly family member of yours, okay? Which, as we just talked about, we'll set these up here a little bit. I may have to... I always apologize to my pile number ones. You're kind of my guinea pigs for the setup of where I put the cards every time, but it's like we were saying here with your pile leader, renewal, regeneration begins with decay. And like I said, this always kind of reminds me of the card death in tarot, right? It's not actually the ending of something, it's the renewal or the rebirth of something new from what was, okay? So it very well could be a death, pile number ones, in which case my apologies and condolences for your loss. Maybe it's really been hurting you a lot recently due to the loss of your loved one. Okay, or maybe you're kind of having fears around this area because of the decline of health here we've talked about in your Lenormand. But let's get your tarot cards and your oracle cards on the desk first before I say anything conclusive about what the advice is, okay? I'm actually going to set your Lenormand here. We'll keep shuffling around. Let's look at your oracle cards first. So the Angel Guide Oracle, we asked from the angels. Sacred Plan. Okay, so this card is all about something that has been planned, something that's in the design of the universe. Okay. We'll talk more about that in a second. Then your Healing Spirits Oracle. You received Heal the Past and Fix Tomorrow. There's a lot about, okay, healing. Green I always associate with the heart chakra, of course. This is a very green card. And also your Renewal card had a lot of green of like the moss growing over. Could have something to do with the heart was the health issue, okay? Or it might be that's what's if they passed on or if they're currently suffering from heart issues, yeah. Maybe they're even emotionally hurt in some way. Maybe it's not just physical. Healing the past and fixing tomorrow. It could be that maybe even you had some regrets if they've passed on. You're like, I wish I'd said this to them. I wish I'd known it, I had reached out before it was their time to go. Intuitively, that's what's popping out. And then your Sacred Rebels here is going beyond normal, thinking beyond the mundane, thinking beyond the physical reality of life, okay? Having an idea in your head, thinking outside the box is kind of also a good phrase to use to summarize this card. Okay, and then we'll look at your tarot cards here. I'm actually going to do this. We're going to set your Lenormand over here. Once again, apologies, my pile number ones. You're my guinea pigs. You pave the path for the other piles is what you do. Okay. Yes, the decay of health of someone elderly. All right, and then your tarot. So first up, we have the Hermit. Okay. The Hermit card is all about introversion, going within, thinking internally. Okay. Gaining wisdom from solitude. It's funny because there's birch trees in this particular card, and birch also means like light or renewal. Okay. Yeah, there's a lot about, I think someone passed on or you're worried about it, pile number ones, okay? Or there's someone in your life where they're coming close to that door and you know it and you're kind of like uneasy about it. Let's see what else pops out. We have the Nine of Wands, okay? Nine of Wands is about holding on to the end, okay? Being determined through hard times. Typically the depiction is someone that's kind of battered and bruised, but they're still carrying on. Okay, we have the Explorer of Cups, which in this particular deck, the Explorers are knights. So this is the Knight of Cups reversed, confused about how to take action with feelings. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Then we have number 4, another Knight Explorer of Wands reversed. That's confusion about how to take action in terms of things you're passionate about, or willpower, not having the strength, or feeling like you don't have the strength for something. Okay. Sometimes that's the way that can be interpreted. Interesting. And then last but not least, we have the Lovers. So the Lovers on the tin can mean a romantic connection. A lot of times it also can mean either a choice we make, or it can mean a deep, deep connection here. It doesn't have to be romantic. It can be familial or platonic, but... All right, my pile number 1. So yeah, I'm getting a lot of sense from this particular reading. Intuitively, it already came out, like when we were talking about your Renewal card and your Lenormand. Like I said, it says, you know, the decay of the health of someone elderly, right? And then renewal, regeneration begins with decay. Heal the past and fix tomorrow. I'm pretty sure, even Sacred Plan too, because Sacred Plan is, this particular card right here, is all about things that have been designed, okay? Things that have been planned out, things that the universe has already coded, okay? You know, of course we have free will, but there are certain, at least in my spiritual experience, there are certain times where, or events that are on a certain date, and it was meant for our time, okay? Whether that be when we're born, whether that be when we die, okay? Things like that. So, I'm pretty sure this empowering message is related to the decay of health of this elderly person, pile number 1s. And I think reading intuitively from these cards, it's either a sense of regret or a feeling like, oh, if I had just known a certain thing, then maybe I could have stopped it, or maybe I could have delayed it, or maybe I could have, like they were too young to go, at least, you know, in terms of, yeah. It does say, you know, elderly here with the lily, but yeah, it felt too soon. I mean, maybe by young is what I mean, is more sudden, like it didn't seem like it was coming up, okay? Things like that. So once again, my condolences, pile number 1s. If this is applicable to you, that if you did lose a loved one that's elderly, or you're at the stage of maybe planning for it, okay, or they're getting close to that door, okay. So what Spirit wants to say to you in terms of the way, or in terms of your feelings about it, pile number 1s, it might have been that you've really withdrawn a lot lately because of this sadness, hence the Hermit, okay. A lot of the pain we feel when it comes to the passing on of a loved one, or when they're in ill health, you know, is watching them struggle, kind of like that Nine of Wands energy here. That's the card of, like I said, being determined and holding out to the end, okay? It being a big fight in terms of fighting against the ties of fate, right? Or the ties of health. Not knowing how to feel about it with the cups here, the Knight of Cups, and not knowing really to express our energy with the Knight of Wands reversed over here with a deep connection, hence the Lovers. Maybe even because the Lovers can also mean a choice. Maybe you felt like there's a choice that you made that affected the outcome of this, or you're currently at the cusp of making that choice regarding this person and their health. Okay? And you're like, what do I do? Because yes, so that's what I'm seeing in terms of the context here, pile number 1s. All right. There is some advice already. I am going to actually pull some more cards for you because I want to get some more like concrete advice to help you work through this hardship, or at least recover from it. Right off the bat, for those of you who this has already come to pass, there's a piece of advice here with your Healing Spirits Oracle where it says, heal the past and fix tomorrow. I'm trying to think of the best way to word this, because especially whenever tarot readings come across the topic of death, I want to be very, what's the word? Pinpoint accurate in the way I say things. So just one moment. I'm going to take a drink actually while I'm looking at your cards. So pile number 1s. If this has already come to pass and you're feeling regret in some way for the way it turned out, like you felt like you had some sort of power over the outcome, especially when it comes to, death or health decisions, right? A spirit is saying that they don't want you to feel responsible, okay? Because like this card says here, heal the past and fix tomorrow. Okay? There's a sense of being encouraged to let go of the feeling of responsibility, let go of the burden of the past so that you can move forward into the future with a lighter load, which I know is easier said than done, because especially when it comes to major life decisions, regarding people's health, right? Those are big decisions to make. And especially if it's after that point and you feel regret in this area, there's always that niggling, worrying doubt of, well, did I make the right choice? Okay. If, because this is a general reading, everyone's going to be a little bit different. If this is something that you're currently going through, pile number ones, like this passage has not occurred yet, what they're saying as advice with that card is just spend as much time as you can to fix or make up for past issues with this person so that you can go forward into the future after this hard time of hardship unburdened by what you felt. A better way to phrase this, pile number ones, I guess, would be is a lot of regrets we always have after someone is gone. Is the phrase I hear a lot from people is, in even things that have happened in my own life, is I wish I had said this thing, I wish I had made up with them over something before they went. Okay, so maybe with this particular person that this tarot reading is talking about, there have been regrets in the past with them. Maybe there's been some fights. Maybe there's been disagreements. Maybe there's things that you want them to know, or things that they want you to know. Okay, so whatever it is for you, pile number ones, like I said, for those of you that this is a current issue, okay, or this might be looming in the future, right? Spend as much time as you can to help heal the past before that time comes, okay? And I'm not saying that to make you feel like, oh no, gotta rush. It's not, I don't get a sense of timing here, okay? So it's not like Spirit is saying, rush forward now or else. It's just, eventually that date comes for us all. And sometimes we forget that in our lives. We get so busy with other things, we don't think about finality. We always think about, well, what's today? Okay, what do I gotta do today, right? But a lot of times, then it smacks us in the face when finality comes and we realize I should have thought about finality before it actually came, okay? So that's one piece of advice for you, pile number ones, okay? In terms of if this is the health of someone that's currently still living, there is some advice with going beyond normal, okay? There's something to do with an idea that hasn't been thought up yet, or maybe there's something with their health, even if it's like a health mystery, pile number ones, and you're not quite sure, or the doctors aren't quite sure what's going on with them. Thinking beyond normal, thinking beyond what's already been tested, thinking beyond what's already been tried is one piece of advice with going beyond normal there. In terms of if this is someone who has already passed for you, pile number ones, okay? Going beyond normal could be recontextualized to mean intuitively, what I'm being told intuitively is there's something about reaching out to them more beyond the physical. Okay. If you haven't already, maybe try to get into contact with this passed on loved one in a spiritual way. In my experience, tarot is fantastic for that. If you have abilities, maybe reach out to them a bit. If you don't have abilities, reach out to maybe someone that does, that can help you with that. Either someone that or someone you can pay, or there's a ton of different psychics on the internet, and I should say technically mediumship, because that's what the dead write. Something like that. Because I intuitively am being told there's a lot of comfort that could come from it. that would help alleviate a lot of regrets if you did reach out, okay? Maybe even you've been afraid to reach out because you're afraid of what will be said or what will be passed, what information will be passed on, okay? But I'm getting the sense if that's your hesitation, pile number ones, go through with it anyways, because there's a lot of value to be derived from connecting with them in a spiritual way, okay? Could even be like through prayer, could be through, I mean, people have a ton of different methods, you know, things like that, but whatever method connects most to you or you're most familiar with, try that. Even connecting with your spirit guides to help connect you, right? Meditation. And there's also reassurance here with renewal. Regeneration begins with decay. Like I said, it's like the death card in tarot. Same thing with sacred plan. You know, we all have our time to go, okay? And sometimes that unfortunately leaves the people we leave behind a feeling of regret or doubt or fear that, oh God, well, what if I could have changed the outcome? And what this is saying to you, pile number ones, is it was their time to go if this is a past thing, okay? It was their time to go, all right? It was in the sacred plan. So if there's a feeling of worry over, you know, could I have changed the outcome if I had done something different? Spirit is saying to alleviate that worry and travel into the future unburdened, knowing that there was nothing you could have done. Okay, it was their time to go. All right. If this is someone that hasn't passed on yet, the same thing. Okay. When they go, it's their time to go, and there's nothing you can do to change it. Okay. Which is a relieving message to hear, because it's like saying it's out of your control and there's no need to feel like it was your responsibility. Okay. Unburdening you. They want to unburden you. They don't want you to feel responsible for it. Okay. Depending on your beliefs, but at least in my personal beliefs, a lot of times, like I said, it's planned before you get here, before you manifest in a physical body. Okay. And wherever they are now is, sorry, I'm getting a little emotional. Ooh, take a deep breath. Sometimes I get teary-eyed with death readings. Sorry. Woo! All right. Yes, we planned that before we get here. Okay, it was their time to go. So they don't want you to feel responsible. All right. I'm gonna try not to cry on camera. I'm sorry. I get emotional with death readings. All right. Let's see. Any other advice with the tarot cards? I also want to pull some other advice cards for you. Some more tarot. Let's see. Yep, the Hermit, introversion. Maybe you've just had to spend a lot of time alone because you've been upset over this. Okay. You're not quite sure how to process it emotionally. Things like that. Okay. Yes, I'm going to pull some more tarot cards for you, pile number ones. Spirit, for my lovely pile number ones, could you give me about 3 cards explaining, like, what advice do you have for them? Or what's, like, the last message you want to leave them with? What's the empowering aspect of this reading? Of course, the empowering was you weren't responsible and you've done your best. Okay. And you have the power, if they haven't passed on yet, to heal the past, right, before they go. Or even, you know, if they have passed, reaching out spiritually, sometimes that can heal the past too. But Spirit, in terms of pile number ones, like, final advice you want for them, can you give me 3 cards, please? Okay, there's one, thank you. We have, okay, the Star reversed is about feeling like you have a lack of faith in something or you feel hopeless about something. We'll see what else comes out for the context. Number 2, we have the 7 of Wands, feeling like everything is against me. Okay. I'm hopeless. Everything's against me. And then, let's see, the Child of Cups or the Page of Cups. A surprise, or can also mean exploring our emotions. Okay. Parting advice for you, pile number ones, from Spirit on this issue is, this matter, I should say, is, I don't know if maybe this experience has maybe shaken your faith a little bit, hence the Star reversed over here on the left. That can be the card of feeling like we're hopeless, feeling like everything is against me, feeling like I've been punished, or feeling like I like, it's just the first 2 cards here just give me a feeling of I'm tired, I'm worn out, I'm hopeless, or I lack hope in something, okay? So they're acknowledging those feelings right now for you, pile number ones, okay? Probably this whole matter has shaken your faith a little bit. Maybe it's made you feel, especially if you're part of the team that's supporting the health of this person, if they haven't gone, if they're still, here with us on Earth, right? Feeling tired and worn out, feeling like everything's against us with that Seven of Wands, okay? But the empowering aspect of these three cards is they're telling you that you have the strength in you to keep fighting, okay? With that Seven of Wands. You have the strength to stem the tide of everything that's being thrown at you right now, as hard as it is, okay? You have the strength to carry this through and be the guardian of whoever this is on their way toward the next door into the next world, okay? Sorry, I'm getting emotional again. Oof. I get teary with death readings, like I said. And with the Page of Cups, like I said, that's exploratory. Exploring our emotions. So they're really encouraging you, especially with the Hermit down here on the left, to lean into withdrawing a bit. Of course, rely on the support of others in your life. That's important too, your family, your friends, etc., loved ones. But really explore how you feel, okay? Let yourself be emotional, okay? Let yourself feel regarding this matter, okay? Because I think they're saying there's a lot of value to be benefited from processing it rather than shoving it down, okay? Not that it's not a waggling finger at you, like, don't, feel your emotions, but, like, I almost get the sense intuitively with this reading, there's a sense of running away. In terms of, it's like not wanting to think about it because it's so painful, okay? Also, sometimes we shove things down because it helps us get through our day-to-day. But if you can, pile number ones, please, what Spirit is saying is take time for yourself. Take time off if you can to really process this. If you're considering, like if there maybe is a funeral coming up that is on the way, right? Take more time off of work afterwards than you normally would have, okay? Really feel your emotions, okay? And for those of you that have a passed on loved one, I want to try to channel at least one message from them. For those of you that they're already in the next world, I want to see if there's like a collective message they can get through. I just want to leave you with, I did say maybe connecting with like a medium of some sort over here, but they were meditating, but I do want to see this here. So, pile number ones, for those of pile number ones, this is about a passed on loved one who has already gone to the next world. Can you please send me a collective message that they want to send through? 3 cards, please. Do another shuffle here. Okay. 1, 2, 3. We'll see if maybe even any symbols resonate with you, pile number ones. Okay. So we have the snake, or the shedding snake is renewal. Okay, kind of like your pile leader says. The home, and then we have the cross. So the cross can mean sometimes a burden or sometimes... Okay, yep. Ooh, getting emotional. All right. This always happens with death readings. I'm sorry. All right. So, okay. So what this means in Lenormand, pile number ones, is this is the shedding snake. This is, I am renewed. I shed something. Okay. I renewed my home and released my burden. Okay. That's what this means. So if you're wondering how they're doing, they're doing pretty well, okay? Basically, this message is saying is that they shed the old burden of the body that they were in, and they're in a renewed home now, is kind of what that means, okay? So they've shed their earthly burden, I guess is how I would put that, all right? To here with the cross, sometimes it can mean spirituality or faith, right? I don't know if maybe this person wasn't very spiritual before they passed. If so, it seems they've kind of, through the experience of walking through that doorway, right, they've renewed their faith too. That can also mean, especially with the snake and the cross, but in general, it's just a reassurance that they're healthier now. Okay. They shed the home that was a burden, and the home meaning symbolically the body. Okay. So if there was any worry about how happy they are, they're perfectly fine. Okay. You know, I don't want to say that they were glad to pass. No one's glad to leave their loved ones behind, but in terms of their health, it was the relieving of a burden to pass. Okay. So that's what they want to convey to you. All right. For those of you, this is someone who's already passed on. Okay. So pile number 1s, I hope that reading was helpful for you. Once again, my condolences. You know, death readings are always tough. So I wish you a wonderful rest of your day. I hope it was helpful, and I hope to see you in the next reading. Bye. Hello there, my lovely pile number 2s. Welcome today to your reading about an empowering message for you. As you recall, the card you used to pick your pile was number 16, Melting Mask, and it says, allow your spirit self to shine through the many roles you fulfill. So one of the themes so far with your empowering message today is something to do with who are you beneath a certain mask, or who someone else is beneath a certain mask. What is the true identity of someone or something deep down? Okay. So we'll keep that in mind as we go through your reading. We'll tie that to your other cards. Put your pile leader to the left as always. And then today I'm actually going to, we do have oracle cards, of course. I'm actually going to do tarot and Lenormand today. So first up, we'll do Lenormand to get the context of this reading, like what's the tangible thing going on that they want to give you an empowering message about, and then we'll pull some tarot cards too. So Spirit, for my lovely pile number 2s, could you give me 3 Lenormand cards explaining the context of this message? 3 cards, please. Okay. That one, and that one. All right. And then we'll also get our tarot cards on the desk here. Spirit, same thing for my pile number 2s. Could you give me 5 tarot cards explaining advice in this area, or context relating? 5 cards, please. For my pile 2s. Usually tarot is more on the advice side, I find. Lenormand's more about the tangible, but 2, 3, 4, and actually that one, 5. Okay. Excuse me. I'm going to make some chair noises as I shuffle up closer. All right. So, my lovely pile number 2s. Let's first look at the context of what's going on. So, Lenormand. We have the Rider, or the Bard as it's known in this particular deck. We have the Cross, and we have the Scythe. Okay, so if you're not familiar with Lenormand, really quickly, it's like reading a word in a sentence, each one. So I would read this pile number 2s as, let's see. So the Bard or the Rider can mean a message of some sort. It can mean like the delivery of something, because it's like a writer actually delivering a message. And it's something to do with a message about the swiftness relating to a burden, because the cross can mean like a burden in Lenormand. I don't know if something's been weighing on you recently and you're looking for like a swift solution to it. And so maybe that's part of what this message is about today for you, pile number 2, is relieving this burden off of you. Okay, swiftly. A message about swiftly relieving a burden. Okay. Interesting. Could also mean the cross can also mean spirituality. It could be that maybe you've asked for something to your guides, spirit, universe, God, whatever your preference is, and you're hoping for like a swift answer to it. Okay. So let's get your other cards out for context though. So I'm going to set your Lenormand up here just for a spell. Let's look at your oracle cards from the angels. We have honesty and communication. Okay. Throat chakra vibes, being honest, speaking. Okay. Interesting. Your healing spirits oracle today is trust in the wise spirits and your prayer will be answered. So that's kind of what I was saying before. Maybe some of you have been asking for something, you've been praying for something, and you're like, what's the swift answer? I need an answer. Come on, spirit, right? Or you're hoping that it'll be answered swiftly. Okay. Especially, too, with communication, because what is prayer but a communication, right? Let's see what else pops up here. And we have your Sacred Rebels. He received... Receiving. Okay, so pile number 2. I'm pretty sure you asked Spirit for something, or there's been something you've really been wanting. Okay. You've communicated it. You're like, I want to manifest this. I've been praying for it, and I want to receive it. Okay. And it's fascinating, too, because tying it with your pile leader over here, we talked about melting mask, something true coming out, which is funny, too, because you have honesty. So it's like, I don't know if you're asking for the truth about something. You want something to be unveiled. You want an answer to something. Okay. Let's get your tarot cards on the desk here. Get some final context. I'm getting the sense that whatever you're asking for, you're going to receive it, though, just because you've gotten so many. I mean, your prayer will be answered. Receiving, literally. Allowing yourself to receive it. Okay, first up, we have the 5 of Wands, Battle of Egos. This is the fire suit that's often about our willpower or ego. It can mean, like I said, some sort of conflict of willpower or ego. Okay. Next up, we have the 2 of Pentacles, balancing things. Okay. Fascinating. Then we have, this is the 4 of Pentacles reversed. So reversed, the 4 of Pentacles means letting something go or something being given more freely. Okay, not holding on to something. Yeah, you've really been wanting something. Interesting. And then we have Justice reversed, which means injustice, kind of like what it says on the tin. Something not being fair. Okay. And last but not least, we have Temperance reversed. All right, Temperance usually means moderation reversed. It's like something isn't in balance. Okay, so we have 2 cards that are kind of like balance here. The 2 of Pentacles, which means balance or balancing things. Temperance reversed is like a lack of moderation or a lack of balance, because we have symbolized by the ice and the fire here, right? 2 opposites, balance. Interesting. What is it you've been asking for, pile number 2 is, huh? Swift end of a burden. Let's see here. Oh. I don't know if you've been having money issues recently, pile number 2s, or things related to the physical plane, which can mean like your career. Something to do with maybe a job you've been looking for, or a promotion you've been looking for, something to do with money. Whatever it is, it's something that will relieve a burden off of you, and that's why you've been asking for it. Okay. You want a swift answer. Because there's something here with like juggling and balancing, and then lack of moderation or balance here with Temperance reversed. Yeah. Something not being fair. Intuitively, if you recently have been rejected by a job interview process, this is something intuitively popping out, pile number 2 is recently, if you've been rejected from a job interview process, it wasn't your fault. There was something going on where it was unfair to you. That's empowering message number 1 for those of you where that's the applicable, if that situation is applicable to your life, right? Because intuitively, I get the sense it's like if they rejected you, it wasn't because you weren't fit for the job. It was like, or it might be a promotion too. So either promotion or job. If they rejected you, it wasn't because you weren't fit for it. It was because there was some sort of like ego-related thing involved here with the 5 of Wands. Some sort of like more internal politics thing going on at that particular company. Yeah. Like, so someone else might have gotten the job or the promotion just because of like ego reasons, or because like there was some sort of conflict going on socially at this company. It wasn't because you weren't fit for it. It was because... but it was so unfair to you, though, with Justice reversed. So unfair. And that's maybe why you've been hurting a lot, pile number 2, is because I don't know if you knew already that it wasn't your fault. You might have self-blamed. You were like, oh man, why am I not good enough for this promotion or this job? Like, I want a swift answer to this because, you know, this would relieve a financial burden upon me, you know. Same thing where if it was money related but not necessarily career, and like it's like you asked for something and were rejected, it wasn't because of you, it was because of something being unfair, out of your control. That's what I'm seeing here. Pile number 2 is okay. Same thing too with honesty coming through and like the true identity of something. What's the truth underneath the mask? Yeah, there's some sort of deception here, or not deception, but something not being fully honest. I mean, you know, that's the thing with job interviews is they don't always tell you. I wish they would, but they don't always tell you why you didn't get a job. I mean, there might be a job where they already had someone like internal that they wanted to apply, but they like legally officially had to post it. And it was never a fair chance in the first place for anyone outside of the company. I know sometimes, unfortunately, that happens, right? Things like that. So, yeah, the empowering part of this, though, pile number 2 is if you thought it was your fault, be assured from spirit that it was not your fault. It was something completely out of your control related to internal politics at the company, okay? Or some sort of deception on their part. Yeah. Or it was like a job listing where they wanted it internally filled, but they officially legally had to post it, but they weren't actually going to consider anyone outside. But, you know, you think, though, that they would actually that they would interview you, or if they were interviewing you, that they had already at least were willing to consider outside. But yeah, someone's being deceptive here. So yeah, be relieved, pile number 2, is that it wasn't your fault. Okay. In terms of you asking and praying for another opportunity somewhere else, I'm seeing here intuitively, also with the cards that came out, the scythe over here especially is about something being swift. And even actually too, the rider or the bard is about something happening fast because he's riding on a horse, right? Rushing through on a horse, trying to get a message through. So if this is something you've been worrying about in terms of like, okay, well, the first thing didn't work out, you know, what's going to happen next? There's something in the wings for you that's happening, coming rapidly, okay? You might not even expect it, pile number 2s. Something that will bring more financial balance, okay? Something that will be more fair to you. Something that will, you know, even like your Sacred Rebels here says, something that helps you receiving, okay? You've been asking and the universe is finally giving you that cup to drink from, okay? So, if you're worried about getting a job, worried about a promotion, or a promotion that didn't work out, there's something else in the wings for you, pile number 2s, that's coming faster than you think, okay? Basically, this is telling me that Spirit has heard your prayers and they're coming with an answer, okay? Let's see if there's any other messages here from the cards I've already pulled. I do want to pull some advice cards for you, pile number 2s, in terms of like how to move forward. Let's see. Sorry for any pauses. I'm actually going to take a drink while I look over your cards. Or 2, if in general you've been looking for feedback on something or communication from somebody, pile number 2s. It seems like that truth, that honesty, that message you've been waiting for will come, okay? Fascinating. I'm going to pull some tarot cards for you in terms of advice, pile number 2s. Your reading is pretty straightforward. So whatever it is you've been worrying about, that you've been asking the universe, hey, can you throw me a bone, right? This is saying, okay, you're going to get the bone thrown to you, and it's going to come faster than you expect. Okay, so very, very positive reading, very empowering, like I said with the title. Yeah. Especially with that 4 of Pentacles, because that's like releasing something. Yeah, that information's coming soon. Okay. So, Spirit, for my lovely pile number 2s, could you give me 3 cards giving them some advice in terms of walking through this time of hardship before the swift answer is given to them, right? 3 cards, please. Okay. Whew. sorry, I got a little spooked there while I was shuffling. I felt, I can feel spirits sometimes, so there's a really strong energy with me right now. I don't know if they're coming through for you or what, but oh boy, that was, oof. All right, so you got a buddy that came through for this reading. I don't know if it's a ghost in my house or someone for you, but we'll see. All right, so number 1, we have the Two of Swords making a choice, okay? We have the Chariot reversed, feeling like something is out of our control. Or something is out of our control, maybe. Reigning in chaos, okay. God, that was a strong spirit. I don't know who that was. Okay. And then we have the Six of Pentacles. We have fairness. Okay, so which is funny because you got injustice earlier with justice reversed. Now you have fairness, especially in terms of the material world with the Pentacles, is about fairness of equal distribution. So sometimes means charity, fairness of pay, things like that. So, all right, in terms of advice for you, pile number 2, it's pretty straightforward. Your answer is coming faster than you think, like I said before, but they're saying the choice is almost kind of out of your control here with the Two of Swords next to the Chariot reversed. So it's almost like you were fated to receive whatever this was, because it's like something to do with your life path, or this is interesting. Yeah, it's like the choice is out of your hands. But it's a good thing. Like, it's not like, oh, you have no choice, it's going to be something bad. It's, you have no choice, something good is coming. Okay, that's what I see here with the Two of Swords next to the Chariot reversed. And then, yeah, Six of Pentacles is about equal distribution of wealth. Okay. Fairness and money, right? So if it's like a promotion for you that was denied to you, pile number 2s, like I said, in that case, it's like something else is coming in the wings. I don't know if another promotion opportunity opens up, or maybe something goes or falls through with this person that technically got it first. So keep an eye out for that. It's like the fairness will be righted. Yeah. If it's in terms of a job interview that maybe you were rejected, technically, pile number 2s, there's another opportunity coming that will be fair to you, that they're actually... they'll be fair about the way that they're hiring, and it's not just you get turned away just for some dumb internal politics reason or whatever. So there's fairness with that. And then whatever it is in your life that you feel has been unfair recently, it's like a writing of back to fairness. Yeah. Yeah, you're sorry, you're reading, I'm repeating a lot, but your reading is very straightforward here, pile number 2s. Okay. Very positive reading. It's good to get, right? But sometimes I feel like I'm not sharing enough reading if it's kind of the same thing over and over, but it's positive, like I said. So let's see if there's any other messages for you before I sign off, pile 2s. Yeah, fantastic answer to get, right? So in terms of it being empowering, it's empowering because number 1, you have discovered that whatever it was denied to you in the first place wasn't your fault. It was out of your power. Okay, so it's not like there was anything wrong with you. You have what it takes for this, okay? So that's not in question. It's also empowering because it's telling you to keep up faith that your prayers will be answered and fairness will be righted, and you will find the thing that you've been looking for, you've been asking from the universe, okay? Yep. They've heard your prayers, pile number 2s. Okay. Let's see if there's any other intuitive messages before I sign off with you. One moment. They're telling me something about next page. I don't know if that means anything specifically to any of you. It's like the turning of a page. Something with a book. Something about the next page. Okay. It's something that will open up your life to a new... It's like a new beginning of some sort, like a new page, in a new chapter in your story. That's kind of what I'm hearing, okay? Yeah, very positive things coming down the pipeline for you, pile number 2. So, to summarize, like we said, if you were rejected for something, it wasn't your fault. There was some unfairness afoot, okay? If you have been asking for something in replacement of that, fairness is coming. It's out of your control. It's fated, especially with that Chariot reversed here with the Two of Swords. It's fated to be handled by the universe, to be given to you. Okay. So, I mean, a lot of times in tarot readings are usually telling people, hey, the universe needs you to do something for it to answer back. This is all, hey, you've already done your part. Rest easy. The universe has got your back. It'll handle the rest from here. That's kind of the feeling of this reading for you, pile number 2 is okay. Yeah, and then that swiftness too. You got the rider and the scythe, both meaning kind of like a swift, fast movement. It's coming a lot faster than you expect, okay? It might even be the day that you watch this video or within the next week or so, okay? Of course, my readings are always timeless, but when you view the video, when you receive the message, right? Pretty shortly after. Yeah. All right, well, pile number 2s, as always, I hope that reading was helpful for you. Congratulations on, things becoming fair, receiving the thing that you've been asking for. It's always a positive message I love to share with people. Yeah, it's coming pretty fast, like I said. So I wish you a wonderful rest of your day, and I hope to see you in the next reading. Bye. Hello there, my lovely pile number 3s. Welcome to your pick a card reading today on the topic of a message that will empower you. As you recall, the card you used to pick your pile today was Accountability number 19, and it says, responsibility is a gift of love to yourself and others. Okay, so one of the central tying themes of your empowering message today might be something to do with you feel like there's been a burden on your back or a burden on someone else's back, or you want someone held accountable for something. Okay. You're wondering if someone will be accountable. Something to do with responsibility, that type of theme. So I do have 3 different types of cards for you today, pile number 3s. I have Oracle cards, which I already drew. I also will have Lenormand and Tarot. Lenormand, I'm going to draw first. That'll give us the context of what this is about. Okay, so Spirit, for my lovely pile number 3s, could you give me 3 Lenormand cards explaining the context of what this empowering message is about, please? Okay. Definitely that 1, 2, and 3. And then we'll get the shuffling out of our way with the tarot cards. Spirit, same thing with the tarot cards. Can you give me 5 tarot cards explaining what's going on, or maybe some advice? 5, please, for pile 3s. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Definitely that one is popping out. 4, and I think that one right there. 5. Okay. Okay, my lovely 3s. Let's see what's in the wings for you. Context. First up, we have the clouds, the garden, and the key. So if you're not familiar with Lenormand, really quick, it's like reading each word in a sentence strung together. So the clouds can mean confusion, the garden can mean a community, and the key is kind of self-explanatory in terms of it's like the key to something, all right? So confusion about the key to a community or the answer to a community. I don't know if there's a group that you're in. It could be your family or like a social group or a work group. And there's been some muddied waters recently and you're asking for like the key to fixing this, or it's like this reading will give you the answer to it, okay, or how to fix it. How to empower you, hence the reading title, okay? The muddiness or confusion is probably related to your pile leader here, where I don't know if maybe some people aren't taking certain responsibility for things, or it's kind of confusing as to who is responsible for what, okay? Or maybe, it's after the fact and people are pointing fingers if things didn't go so well, and they're pointing fingers at you when you weren't actually the one accountable for it. Like it wasn't your responsibility, things like that. Okay, interesting. Let's see what else pops out here. Fascinating. All right, Lenormand up there. Let's look at your oracle cards. Your angel guide today is romance and connection. So the connections we have with others could technically mean a romantic relationship, because it does say romance, right? But it could just mean a strong connection with other people, okay? People you're connected to. All right. Then we have your Healing Spirits Oracle. You have the ability to affect your own destiny. You've got the power, all right? The ability to affect your own destiny. Huh. And Sacred Rebels, we have, what do you feel? Okay. What do you feel about something? I feel like your voice is not being heard, pile number 3. What do you feel? Yep. They're not giving you the power that you need to have a say, or they're not listening to you. They're not listening to what you feel. Or you immediately accepted the blame when it wasn't your fault. Okay. Interesting. It was not your fault. Tarot, let's see. We have, first up, we have the 10 of Wands, the card of literal burdens. Like we said here, she's got a basket on her back, your pile leader. Accountability. Burdens. Something's cracking your back. A little too heavy. Okay. Second up, we have justice reversed. Something's been unfair. Yeah. Okay, that's, yeah. I love when I get intuitive messages before I pull the cards out, and then it's just like, yeah, by the way. All right. And then we have strength reverse. Look at all these major arcana. Feeling like I don't have the power. Yep, they took away your power, pile number 3. Oofta. Okay. Then we have the 5 of Swords reversed. After the battle, things were said. People fought. Things didn't go so well. Yeah, this is a conflict with other people. Ouch. Okay. And then we have... oh boy. Look at these major arcana. Chariot reverse. It's feeling like something is out of control. Something's chaotic. Oh boy. Okay, so pile number 3 is, I want to assure you right off the bat, if you're worried in any way, shape, or form about your responsibility with this, it wasn't your fault whatsoever. Okay, someone else dropped the ball and they're pointing fingers at you. If you feel like it's your fault, it's not. All right. Okay. People put too much of a burden on you. 10 of Wands, right? Things were unfair. You were not in a position of power to fix it. It's kind of, okay. The phrase I'm getting told is shit rolls downhill. Okay, probably with a job. Could be just in general with a group that you're in, though. Someone else was supposed to shoulder the burden, and now they're pointing fingers at you, even though it wasn't even within your power to fix. Okay, and there might have even been a little bit of a conflict, a little bit of a lashing of tongues over it with that 5 of Swords reversed, and things are just chaotic. Okay, could have been this group had a fallout because of that, hence the Chariot reversed. Things are just out of control, right? And I think, especially because you got the clouds here, like I said, that's about like confusion or something being kind of muddied, right? It's almost like both you and other people in this group are kind of confused as to who actually was responsible. I think anyone that's pointing a finger at you, pile number 3, is like, they might not even understand that it wasn't your fault, because they're just, it's like they're either unconsciously they're trying to shoulder off the burden onto someone else. They just like pointing fingers because, well, unfortunately there's a lot of people in life that don't want to be accountable, right? Or it's like the whole group isn't sure who to blame, so they're just like pointing. Yeah, in any case, though, pile number 3 is it's not your fault. Okay. It's a resounding message here. Let me read your Lantern Oracle again here for a second. Responsibility is a gift of love to yourself and others. Yeah, I think someone else dropped the ball. Yeah. So pile number 3 is if you've been blamed for something recently that you, like, maybe even yourself didn't know whether or not it was your fault, the empowering message today is you had no control over it. You didn't have the power to change it. Okay, it wasn't your fault. Like I said before, even too, like it says, you have the ability to affect your own destiny. I don't know if someone is just playing victim here too, like the people pointing fingers. Like something went wrong and it's just they don't want to take accountability for it. Damn. Okay, well, let's see if there's anything else here before. I've been kind of ad-libbing the readings today a little bit. Sometimes I pull extra tarot, sometimes I pull extra Lenormand. I'm going to try to see what's the best route here for you, pile number 3. It'd be pretty straightforward, though. It wasn't your fault. Okay. Yeah, it's like they weren't even listening to you. Yeah. Because it says, like, what do you feel over here? And it's emphasized with, like, it's italicized here. What do you feel? Okay. Or it was something like they didn't care about the emotions involved. They just cared about, like, oh, just need to get this done, you know, screw your feelings. But, like, feelings actually did matter. Okay. Yeah. Just looking at your tarot cards again here. Yeah, an unfair burden, lacking the strength of battle, loss of control. Okay. I'm gonna ask this with Lenormand for you, pile number 3. So I'm gonna ask who actually was at fault. Okay. Because maybe that will help reassure you that this wasn't your ball to have been dropped. Okay. So a spirit for my lovely pile number 3s, with a focus on empowerment, who actually was at fault here in this situation? Can you describe them to me? 3 cards, please. And let me tell you, Lenormand will call people out. That's why I love Lenormand. All right. 1, 2, 3. Let's see, who actually was at fault here? We have chickens. So we have chickens, okay, which means communication. We have the ship, and we have the stars. Okay, so in Lenormand, stringing that together, communication about a voyage or a journey of goals. Sorry, one moment. Communicating. Pile number 3s. If there is someone in this group or this situation who was either unclear about the goals of what was trying to be accomplished, or they kept changing the goals, okay? They kept changing the star to follow, hence, you know, like Polaris here with the navigator, right? Whoever was inconsistent in that way and kept changing where we're steering this ship, that's who was at fault, okay? So it could have been the leader of this, if it was like, you know, a project at work, it could have been the leader of the project, kept changing the scope, there was scope creep or something, right? Whoever was the navigator and kept telling people this is where we need to go, it was their fault, okay? That's what this reading is saying here with the Lenormand cards. Could also, I mean, you know, a chicken can mean someone cowardly as well. Like, you're a chicken. Yeah, they did not navigate very well. They did not set good goals. Okay. So they're blaming the confusion of what went on, and they're blaming the outcome, not on their own lack of preparation or their own lack of setting the right goals or attainable goals or changing the goals. They're blaming it on other people instead of, hey, maybe I was just poor at planning, or maybe I had the wrong goal, or maybe I kept scope creeping the goal into different things. Okay. There's just some sort of confusion here. Lack of communication, perhaps. Let's see if there's anything else I want to do reading for you here for you, pile number 3s. Probably advice in the future would be a good thing for you, I bet. Because we already talked about you're not at fault. We described who was at fault here, who should have been responsible, and who should apologize and help fix it, right? Let me get some tarot cards down for advice. Spirit, for my lovely pile number 3s, can you give me a reading regarding, with 3 different cards, advice for them on how to, like, navigate this in the future? Okay, please. I mean, we already talked about, half of moving forward is just knowing it wasn't your fault, okay? But sometimes tangible advice is good, too. Elder, King of Pentacles, okay? That's external mastery of the physical. So confidence in what we're secure in. Secure in our job, secure in our money. If you're worried about losing a job over this pile number 3s, or if there's some sort of worry about consequences over this blame, this King of Pentacles is telling me that you'll be secure and safe. Okay, so don't worry about that. All right. Then we have the 7 of Cups. 7 of Cups are often about the choices we make. Okay, many options before us. Which one? Okay, and then before I read that, we'll get your third card down. We have the Two of Pentacles, balance. Yeah, I think this is career for most of you, but could be any group that you're in. Pile number 3 is, yeah, so King of Pentacles, Seven of Cups, choices, and balance. Advice in the future, pile number 3s. Be assured that things will be secure, okay? But there's also some advice here in terms of making choices with balance with these two cards next to each other, okay? Balanced choices. All right. So as you navigate forward with this situation, always choose the path, the middle path, I should say, of balance. And tangibly, what I'm being told is that would manifest in a way of, like, let's say it's a group project that went to crap at work, right? Okay. And some manager comes knocking and is like, okay, what actually went wrong here? Maybe they understood that the blame wasn't actually on you. Maybe they're trying to get your side of the story. Tell it in a balanced way if you're asked, okay? Talk about what was the balance of things, too, because it can manifest in that way, too. Not only saying, okay, this is the balance of what I was told of what everybody was supposed to do, okay? Also just telling it in a balanced way of not being too accusatory, okay? Not being too emotional if you can help it. You know, of course, you know, we're feeling human beings, and sometimes when things have been unfair, we get a little upset. But I think as long as you take the path of moderation and balance, speak of it in a balanced, impartial way, okay, everything will be just fine and you'll be safe. I'm being reassured that you'll be safe anyways. I think pile number 3 is you already got this in the bag. I think it'll be just fine. 2, intuitively I'm being told that whatever this was that occurred, it's leading to more balanced choices in the future. A lot of times in life, bad things happen because it unveils room for opportunity or improvement. Okay? So it's, by this mistake having been made, it's paving the way into the future for it not to happen again from what was learned, okay? Could be there's repercussions for the person that actually was at fault, okay? Especially if they lied and said, oh, no, it wasn't my fault. I didn't do anything wrong, you know, twiddling their feet like a little kid, right? Big shiny eyes. Yeah, just be assured that you're protected. You're safe financially here. You're secure, okay? And it's leading to more balanced choices in the future, and for you specifically to choose balance in everything you do. Just in general, as you go forward with this situation, keep the word balance and moderation in mind, all right? Okay, see if there's any other messages here. For my lovely pile number 3s. Pretty straightforward reading. You're like pile number 2 today. Okay. Sorry for the silence. I just want to make sure that I have every message for you that's coming out. Sometimes intuitively, things pop out a little bit later too. I wonder if I should pull more cards for you. What's another useful question I could ask for you? The most empowering question, pile number 3 is something empowering. I'm going to ask the effect that you had on the project, or whatever this was, or this group, okay? I'm going to do that with Lenormand. I'm going to ask what effect you had, because I also want to reassure you that I think that you added a lot more than you think you did, in terms of, like, the good parts of it, okay? Spirit, for my lovely pile number 3s, in the interest of empowerment, can you tell me what effect they had on this situation, my pile 3s? 3 cards, please. Okay. Is that 3 cards? Well, what do you know? They just popped out. Thank you, Spirit. What effect did they have on this? We have the bear being sturdy. Okay. We have the cat, loyalty, and we have the document or the letter. I don't know if you had some sort of writing role with this. Communication, writing, that's what the letter usually means, or physical documents. And the bear is someone sturdy, hardy. Okay. So in terms of what you contributed, pile number 3 is in an empowering way to this situation. I think you kept records. Okay. Maybe that's part of the reason this will be solved, is because you are the one that kept records, metaphorically speaking, in terms of who actually did what. Okay. You were loyal. And yeah, hardy or sturdy there with the bear. Yeah, I am not getting any indication whatsoever that you did anything wrong, pile number 3s. Okay. You were loyal, you were sturdy. Okay. You did what you were supposed to do, okay? Or what you were told to do, at least. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, sturdy loyalty to documents. It could have been even a situation where it was like you were saying, hey, let's comply with the regulations, or let's comply with the things that have been told to us to comply with. And it was the other people that didn't listen, but you were loyal to what was supposed to be done. Okay. Or done the right way. You were the advocate for being loyal to the right way of doing things. Okay. To what the documents say. With this particular is a letter. Lenormand usually means like a document of some sort, but things written down, right? Yeah. Be reassured it wasn't your fault at all. Okay. I know I've said that probably a million times before, but loyalty. Loyal. All right. Let's see. Any other message we want to have asked for you, pile number 3s? I'm going to ask what's the result of what'll happen to the person who actually was at fault. Let's predict that. Spirit, for my lovely pile number 3s, what will happen to the person that was actually at fault? 3 cards, please. We'll get some juicy details here. What will actually happen to the person that was at fault? All right, we have the woman. We have the fish exchange. And the crossroads. Okay. So it's feminine energy I'm feeling here with the woman. Okay. The fish is about exchange. Sometimes it can mean money. Sometimes it can mean business. The crossroads is all about choices. Okay. Choices we can take. So a woman exchanging choices. That's interesting. I wonder if they're going to be moved to a different department or something, or moved off of this, or away from this group. It's like their pathway is going to be exchanged. So wherever it seems like they were going before this happened, they're going to go down in exchange for a different path. Okay. I know it's kind of vague, pile number 3s, but that's what's being told here. A woman exchanging paths. Exchanging choices. Could also be if they were lined up for something, like a promotion, let's say, and they might get put down another path. So, in terms of the outcome of who was actually at fault. Okay. Yeah, so I don't see them just walking away from this without some sort of exchange going on. Okay. Could be moving to a different department. Exchanging the trajectory of where they were headed because of this mistake, right? Something like that. Okay, so pile number 3s, I hope that reading was helpful for you. As always, just, be reassured. You had too much burden on you. You didn't have the power to change it. It wasn't your fault. And you added a lot to it. You tried to get it to work, okay? I don't see that you had any issues whatsoever. It was just out of your control because of other people. And whoever is doing the blaming, or whoever actually was at fault, is going to have some sort of thing exchanged or changed because of it, okay? And then, yes, keep moderation or balance as your theme in mind going forward with this situation, okay? Just keep that as your mantra, as balance, okay? And be assured that everything will be secure for you. You're just fine, okay? If it was someone pointing a finger at you, I think the truth is going to come out, and then they're going to know that you weren't responsible, okay? And you're going to be just fine in terms of security, okay? Especially if this is job related or your security within the group, right? So, all right, yes, I hope that was helpful for you, pile number 3. So I wish you a wonderful rest of your day, and I hope to see you in the next reading. Bye.